We're talking about the Phenotype Development Evaluation Workgroup. This workgroup was started around earlier this year. We meet on a regular basis, and let's see if my slides are here. So who are we, what are we, and why are we? In the OHDSI community, if you hear the phrase cohort definitions, this is the work group to talk about cohort definitions. We meet about twice a month. We meet second Friday and fourth Friday every month at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To find us, go to the OHDSI Teams page, and if you'll find the work group is highlighted here, the work group on phenotype development evaluation. We have a lot of people attending on a regular basis. You can see Joel, Evan, Andrew, Kat, Karthik. We meet, we talk, we plan. But what do we do? What's our mission? We improve the quality and reliability of the evidence generated from observational data by advancing the science of phenotype development evaluation. Our areas of focus are content development and dissemination. That's our primary focus. Content is king for us. We also do best practice development and evaluation. We work on the science of phenotyping, and we do tool design and innovation. The content development evaluation, content development dissemination, and best practice are usually the second Friday. The rest of the work is on the fourth Friday meetings, but we're not very strict about it. So what is content development and dissemination? We want to build better cohort definitions. We want to make it available for everyone in the OHDSI community. To do that, we develop, evaluate, and make available these cohort definitions to everybody. What do we mean by best practice development and evaluation? We enable a community to build better cohort definition. That's our goal. So we develop best practices, we document these best practices, and we disseminate these best practices using teaching, training, workshops, or education methods. We work on the science of phenotyping. We want to evaluate if we are building better cohort definitions, and we want to innovate methods to improve this science. For this, we work on measurement systems. How do we evaluate the sensitivity, specificity, positive predictive value, misclassification, bias, or measurement biases associated with cohort definitions? We also work on tools. Once we have best practices, how do we make sure that these best practices are systematically adopted? We're not tool developers. We're not Hades. Hades is the tool development group inside OHDSI, but we help design these tools and help adopt these tools so that the best practices are followed. Now, how do we work? We work by coordinating our efforts through 2 formal monthly meetings. We report out our work to other OHDSI work groups that are leading studies. So if there is a work group that is working on COVID-related studies, we will report out to them based on their needs. We plan synchronously. We discuss the needs of another work group in our weekly in our formal meetings, and then we select a theme. We use a theme-based approach so that we get things done to get it to completion. We execute this work in an asynchronous fashion through asynchronous communication using the Microsoft Teams channels, through subgroups, and then leads. This is our current month's theme. We are working on COVID definitions. One of the ideas that this work group was challenged with was, is the COVID definition that we're using in all our OHDSI studies, how good is it? Do we need to rethink this definition? The most common definition that's used across almost all the OHDSI studies is if you have a diagnosis of COVID, you're in. Or if you have a positive test result for a SARS-CoV test, you're in. But how good is that definition? Maybe it was good earlier last year, but have we evaluated that definition? Are clinicians coding people to have a COVID diagnosis when they're having a negative test result? Or are there test results that are negative along with test results that are positive? What do we do in those circumstances? So we are working on a current for the theme of the month. We are working on this problem. We're also working on COVID sequelae, long COVID. So how do we differentiate between a person who's had a new COVID diagnosis a new episode of COVID versus somebody who's receiving specialist care for maybe a lung fibrosis that was a sequelae of a COVID disease. So we're working on that problem too. We're trying to see the problem number 3 that's captured here. This theme is about COVID capture pattern. Has the way has the pattern in which, or the rules in which patients are documented to have COVID changed over this entire pandemic? Maybe the way people were being evaluated and diagnosed in early part of 2020 is different from the late part of 2021. And does that change our cohort definition algorithms? So we are tackling these types of problems in the phenotype development and evaluation work group. We have several deliverables. We have the theme of the month deliverables, and we have the global universal deliverables. One of the deliverables that we are currently working on is the OHDSI Phenotype Library. OHDSI Phenotype Library will be an Atlas instance that is available to everybody inside the OHDSI community. It is currently not unreleased. This is just a preview here. We'll also have a phenotype library study that will have the results of these cohort definitions. Come join us. We are an active work group. If you are a work group or a study that needs cohort definitions, come talk to us. We will help you improve your cohort definitions. We will help you run cohort diagnostics on the cohort definitions and help make design choices that is driven by data.